Hello, and welcome to South King County's real estate update for March 12th. Halfway through March already. This year is going by so fast. Anyways, I am back here to deliver your real estate news for South King County, and we'll touch a little bit on nationwide as well. I have a fair amount to get through today, so I'll go ahead and jump into it. Oh, stop share. That is not the one. But yeah, I had a little bit of technical difficulty today, and it looks like that seems to be kind of continuing. All right, here we are back at South King County Real Estate Update for March 12th, 2021. So just a reminder, I have a couple classes coming up, my home seller strategy session and my buyer bootcamp, both geared at maximizing your position in the real estate market in 2021 in this crazy hot sellers market that we are in. The seller class is tomorrow. Go ahead and register to reserve your spot today. The link is below in the description. I am really excited for this class. There are a few programs, products that I'm going to be sharing in this class that I haven't really, well, they're new. So I haven't gotten a chance to share much about them yet. And I'm excited to dive into those, as well as, some things that'll help you in any market as far as prepping your home for sale and how to position yourself in the market and all that. But a lot of it will be specific things just for like a crazy hot sellers market that we're in right now. So what happened this week? Some notes here, but I'm starting to feel like a broken record. Well, I've said that before, so I guess continuing to feel like a broken record. There's so many buyers and no inventory. We've been in this boat for quite a while, but it is very intense at the moment. I have a real estate agent friend that he and I meet a couple times a week, actually, and chat about the market and what's going on. And he has a listing that came out just a couple days ago, came on the market. They have a set review date for Sunday, this coming Sunday. And this house is in Puyallup. It is, so it went on the market yesterday. It went on the market yesterday. And I was supposed to have a meeting with this individual yesterday, and we kept getting interrupted and calling back. So our meeting ended up being in like 2 or 3 sections just because he was getting so many calls, so many showing requests about this property in Puyallup. I just got a message from him now. He's got over 20 showings booked for the weekend. And actually, I think it's probably more than that. Just didn't have time to go count them all up. He's got 3 offers in hand, and that is not counting the offers that are still promised to come in. And the review date is still, 2 days away. And they're trying very hard to wait till the review date because the seller's out of town. So it's just, they're waiting for the seller to come back into town before they review all these offers. But they've already got 3 in, and so many showings yet to come over the course of the weekend. We haven't even hit the weekend yet. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I know it's not going to last past Sunday because it's already got 3 offers and that's the review date. So I'm really suggesting that if you are a buyer in the market, you sign up for my home buyer class that's in a couple weeks, because this market is just insanely intense. You need to have a strategy if you're going to come out on top and get the home of your dreams. So I'll go ahead and jump back into the slides, but the registration link for that class is below. All right. So as far as news, this was posted by the Northwest MLS. Yesterday, the governor announced that all regions will be in phase 3 starting March 22nd. So next Monday, they'll all be in, all counties will be in phase 3. So that means that for real estate, that means there could be no more than 10 people on site, including the broker. If for in-person open houses, there's still no more for showings. There's still no more than 5 people in addition to the broker. So 6 total for showings, 10 people total for open houses. Face mask, social distancing, all of that, sanitation is all required. But these restrictions will lighten up as we, go on. And there has been, I talked a lot last week about mortgage rates, and Seattle Times came out with this article a couple days ago. Surge in mortgage rates erodes purchasing power for home buyers. So the bidding frenzy was one of the big surprises of the pandemic. Who knew that a pandemic, when we all have to stay home and social distance and not hang out with other people, the housing market was going to take off? But it did. And now the interest rates have risen to over 3% for the first time since July, for a full week. And I thought this was interesting to point out. Even small changes in interest rates can have a big impact for buyers. In a report this week, Redfin calculated that an increase in mortgage rates to 3.25 from 2.75, so a 0.5% increase, would mean that a borrower on a $2,500 a month housing budget would lose $23,250 in purchasing power overall. If you look at this and combine this information with our look at the home values, they are going up and have been for a while. Holding out on a purchase and having that 0.5% increase would probably cost you significantly more than $23,000 because home prices will go up in that time period. So now is a great time to buy if you talk to your agent and have a plan in place to make sure that you can actually win, you have your offer be the winning offer. So home buyers are somewhat restrained on prices these days. Matt Speakman, an economist at Zillow, thinks that the low rates are behind us. I've heard a variety of different economists speak on this topic, and most think that interest rates will go up throughout the rest of the year on average. The disagreement that they're having is by how much. There's some people, I have actually heard a couple people say that they predicted the interest rate will go down. But I'd say most of the economists that I've heard speak on this topic think that rates will go up, but not significantly throughout the year. So this one, Amazon signs new lease for 25-story Bellevue Tower. I know this, I don't generally talk about commercial real estate in these shows, but this is showing that Amazon is really putting, a lot of their power behind Bellevue. South Lake Union is still going to be their main hub. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Not to say that it never will, but Bellevue is becoming a much bigger player in the Amazon employee hub. So the fact that they just signed a new lease for a 25-story building that will house significantly more employees. This means that the east side, and going north and south of there, so Renton Highlands and south, and then Bellevue, Kirkland, Redmond, all of that area, anywhere that is an easy commute to Bellevue is probably going to continue to be in high demand in relation to the rest of the region around here. So if you're looking for a place to invest, Bellevue is a great place. Even though the prices there are very high, I definitely think that is one of the areas that will continue to rise at a very quick rate. So I spoke last week about a bill that was talking about limiting evictions, and they did vote on that and go through. So the bill that they passed, it would end certain, it would require landlords to provide a valid reason for ending leases. And there's a whole bunch of other little rules included in this. But right now, a landlord can end a month-to-month lease with a 20-day notice without providing a reason. If they don't leave, if the tenants don't leave at that point, the landlord can start the eviction process. But for fixed leases, like 6 months or a year, the current law considers the lease is terminated at the end of the term. Before, at the end of a 6-month or year lease, the default without notice was for the renter to fall into a month-to-month lease. Now those will automatically be terminated and you will have to renew with your landlord. So it spells out reason, the new proposal, the new bill spells out reasons why landlords can evict their tenants: failure to pay, unlawful activity, harassment, that sort of thing. They are definitely still protect the landlord against not having to house somebody who's being unlawful or a nuisance. And so they still have that right protected, but it's limited to those. You can't just say, hey, your month-to-month lease is over for no reason. You have to explain why the lease is ending. So part of the deal, or part of this bill, is that there are some exceptions for short-term leases on the without cause. For a tenant's first lease of 3 to 12 months, a landlord could end the lease without cause if he or she gives the tenant 60 days notice. So if they're not an established tenant there, they've been there less than 12 months, between 3 and 12 months, the landlord does not have to provide a reason for the eviction. But once they're an established tenant, they do have to provide reason. So that'll jump us into our market stat minute. You can see that new listings jumped up to 815 new listings in King County this week, and 993 pending, 709 sold. So you can see the dip on our sold chart over here, but this is still a reflection of what was happening 3 to 6 weeks ago. So you can see we're still in a decline on our pending listings over here. So you can see that's where this is coming into play here. Nothing to worry about going forward. Our new listings and pending listings are still on the rise, which is really great to see because we are so short of inventory. So if we look at, this is for South King County for our monthly and end of month stats. You can see that the pended listings, we're on that upward trend for January and February, just like we would expect to see at this time of year. And we're up 9.8% on our for sale versus our previous month. So this is nice to see that we are getting more inventory into the market. Hopefully it'll satisfy some of that buyer demand. And if we look at showings, this is across North America, and you can see we did kind of not drop down, but kind of like level off on our showings from the last few days. But we did have this big jump after the snowstorm that we had. And well, this is nationwide. So this the whole nation had some crazy weather during that week. So the showings have bounced back to what would have been in line with where they were going. And if you remember last week, we mentioned that interest rates were at 3.02%. Now they're staying fairly even, but rising just a tad to 3.05. But this is the snapshot of today's rates from Mortgage News Daily. This was taken, the snapshot was taken at noon. So we ended the day at 3.32 for our 30-year fixed. And so we're seeing that, we're seeing that rise coming. And hopefully it doesn't go up too quickly, but I definitely agree with the economists that we can expect it to go up from here. But okay, so this map, I shared this on my Facebook or on the business page on Facebook a couple days ago because I just couldn't wait. This map is insane. Year over year inventory in Washington, we're down 53.5% from the amount of inventory we had 1 year ago. And remember, 1 year ago is like right before the coronavirus panic. So this is what last year we started out the first couple months with one of the hottest years ever. And we are down 53.5% on inventory since then. And nationwide, we're down 48.7%. So we're ahead of the nation on our inventory shrinkage, but not by much. This is like nationwide. New York is doing okay. Yep. So things are just insane around here. I know I sound like a broken record, but look at this inventory shortage. It's nuts. And so I've heard a lot of I've heard some people express some concerns that we are headed towards another housing crisis, which I just want to confirm the numbers do not back that up. So this is new construction homes, the amount of new construction that's being built every year. And this line across here is our average units per year over, what is this, 50 years. We had, leading up to the 2008 housing crisis, when pretty much anyone could get a loan, you didn't have to prove that you could afford the loan. They were building like crazy, so there was plenty of houses available, and people were buying multiple houses, just really over leveraging themselves. And after we ended up with just too many houses and no one could afford to buy them anymore, building kind of like dropped off. And we've had 13 straight years below our 50-year average for home building. So we're just really, really far behind on the amount of houses we need to satisfy the demand. We just haven't kept up with population growth. So this is interesting to see how far we are below the inventory on this new inventory gap for this time period. Annual price appreciation, the average price appreciation during 2002 to 2005 was 10.3%. So this is just skyrocketing appreciation. And you can see the annual average appreciation for 2017 through 2020 was 6.3%. So we're not seeing that insane price appreciation that we saw at least not to the extreme that we saw leading up to 2008. And on the other side here, we have months of inventory of existing single family homes for sale. So in leading up to 2008, the crash there, we had 9.6 months of inventory, which we have not seen anywhere near since then. A healthy market is about 6 months of inventory. That's when sellers and buyers have a uh, balanced set of cards against each other, basically. But we have been far below that 6 months leading up to now, and it's dwindling. We're down to 2.1 months of supply as a nation, and in our area, it is even less. Also, the default risk in the mortgage market from 1999 to 2020, the red is the product risk and the blue is the borrower risk. So the product risk, they were offering a lot of products back in the day where they didn't have you verify your income or your job, or basically you just said, here's how much I can afford. And they said, okay, here's a loan. And that caused a lot of people to over leverage themselves and default. And basically the loan product put them at risk. But since then, we have had so many regulations go into place that weren't in place leading up to 2008. Like, now you actually have to prove you can afford to make the payments on your mortgage before you get the mortgage, which makes sense. But that wasn't the case before. So all of those restrictions are making the products way less risky. And yeah, so this is you would actually generally have a little bit more product risk in here, but they've tightened up the restrictions so much that it's just non-existent. And the percent of the median income needed to purchase a median priced home. So if you look at the median income and the median home price, 1985 to 2000, it would have been 21.2% of the income. In 2006, it was rated at 25.4% of income. And today we are down to 14.9. So this is showing that homes are more affordable the median home is more affordable compared to the median income than it has been for quite a while. Anyways, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am here to help you. I love chatting about the real estate market. So if you are curious about what's happening in your specific area, please feel free to reach out. Make sure to like or subscribe so you don't miss these videos in the future. I'm here every Friday at 3 p.m. Links to all of the platforms are in the description below. Don't forget to register for my home seller class tomorrow or my home buyer class in 2 weeks to maximize your position in the market if you are looking at transacting in real estate this year. All right, thank you so much for joining me. My name's Sarah Eggleston. I'm with the Stone Egg Realty team at John L. Scott, and I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll see you next time.